Once a giant, always a giant. For me, it's only a giant.
What's up, YouTube? Diggy546. Hit that subscribe button if you want more sports content. Like the video if you like the video, and I won't tell if you click that bell. But let's go ahead and get into this. I've been seeing a lot of reports lately, starting with that Madden rating, and then it went to a topic on ESPN and Zeke's getting in his feelings and tweeting about it, which I kind of agree with him. He said you don't have to discredit him to say that somebody else is, is good. But let's go ahead and debunk this. I'm going to give you guys the top 5 running backs in the league. Starting off with number 5, Nick Chubb. He came out last year and was an absolute monster. Nick Chubb came onto the scene and he showed me that he was better than what I thought he was. Because at first I thought Nick Chubb was only a bruiser and he was a short yardage guy and he'd be pretty much in a stable of running backs. But Nick Chubb came out and he showed that he could carry the ball multiple times. 25 plus times if you need him to, and be that guy. Like, he showed that he can really be that dude. But he has power. He has speed. He has a little bit of elusiveness. I don't know how good he is with the catching compared to the other guys on this list, but he's that dude when it comes to this. If you want somebody who's just going to be a powerful guy and can hit home runs for you and save Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb is your guy. Moving on, Derrick Henry. What can I say about Derrick Henry? This dude put the team on his back though, and it wasn't like Greg Jennings. This was real life. Derrick Henry put the entire Titans team on his back for that second half of the season. People want to talk about what Ryan Tannehill did, but Derrick Henry, when I tell you, this dude is Brandon Jacobs that runs a 4.4. I know he ran a 4.5, but the way he hits home runs in the games, that's a 4.4, 4.3, high 4.3 type of guy. This dude is a monster. He's huge, and he's moving too fast, and no one wants to tackle him. Derrick Henry, he's not really a catcher, but you don't want him going side to side. You don't want him catching swing passes and going side to side. You want him getting the ball with a full head of steam, and he's not going backwards. So Derrick Henry, he got into the playoffs and won his team. At this point, it's kind of hazy, but I think they almost won 2 playoff games just on Derrick Henry alone. But moving on, Derrick Henry put the entire team on his back, and people try to say the running backs are invaluable, but he willed that team to where they got to. That was not Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill got the benefit because people was worried about that grown man, that 6'4", 260 something pound man getting the ball. It's not about Ryan Tannehill. So number 3, Ezekiel Elliott, Mr. Feed Me, Mr. Chia Puff Doll, Mr. Crop Top. Ezekiel Elliott at number 3. And this is no slight to Ezekiel Elliott. I think that this dude is a beast. He's powerful like Nick Chubb, but he's got a lot more elusiveness to him. He can catch. Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb, they're not really catching like that. Zeke can catch. He didn't get as many targets this year because of Tony Pollard, but hey, don't forget about that. Zeke is a danger out of the backfield catching the ball. He can set the tone. He can drop his shoulder and barrel into things, get short yardage, but he's not the home run hitter that maybe Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb are. But as far as setting the tone, Zeke can set that tone and break off those 15, 22, 25, 30-yard rushes at the end of games. And there's a space definitely in the league for that. There's 4 yards, 3 yards, 6 yards, 8 yards, 5 yards, 3 yards, maybe 1 yard, then 12. So he's going to go and he's going to continue to run. And he's going to continue to bang his head until finally the defense is, worn down. And like I said, there's value in the league for that. So Zeke is at number 3. And this is no slight to Zeke. I just think these top 2 runners are in a league of their own, separate from the rest of these guys. I think Zeke is in his own tier in between these two tiers of Derrick Henry and Nick Chubb and Saquon and Christian McCaffrey. Spoiler alert, who else would they be? But bringing on to Christian McCaffrey, this dude, I mean, people was like, oh, why are you going to draft a white running back? Why are you going to draft a running back this high, you know? And people think that because Christian McCaffrey is white, he's not getting busy. This dude, Christian McCaffrey, C-Mac, Cam got injured and he said, don't worry. He was running for 150 plus yards, catching 100 yards, pretty much doing some LaDainian Tomlinson, Matt Forte type stuff. And pretty much if there was no Saquon, C-Mac would be the best running back in the league, bar none. And his production wise, he's going to rival Saquon because that offense down there is going to run through him. And Teddy Bridgewater he's not that guy to where he's going to be putting the team on his back. So it's going to be C-Mac that's going to be running that ball and catching. And he's not going to get run into the ground. He's actually pretty built. He's short, but he's not skinny. And C-Mac, to me, is one of my favorite players to watch. He's elusive. He's powerful. He runs out of tackles. And he can hit that home run. He can establish the tone, catching, running the ball, and he can hit the home run at any time. So C-Mac is number 2. And the only reason that C-Mac is number 2, because you got a grown man. You got a guy who is an absolute freak. Saquon Barkley at number 1. This is somebody who got injured last year. Could barely, he was clearly not himself. And he was still making people look silly while he was limping around the field, hurdling people, spinning out of things with less than a penny's length of turf between him and the sideline. This dude, Saquon Barkley, when we drafted Odell and we traded him, I was like, oh, there's nobody out here like that. Well, actually, we took Saquon before we traded him, but in my mind of thinking maybe Odell might go, I'm like, if we trade him, we're not going to get another generational talent like that. But Saquon Barkley, the dude's thighs are about the size of my entire body. The dude, he's like 234 at this point. He's running a 4.3 out there. In the combine, he ran a 4.4, but just like I said with Derrick Henry, game speed and combine speed are 2 different things. He's out there outrunning everybody. You get this much of a crease, and he can go for 6. And the open field is pretty much done. You can get stiff arm. People try to say that this dude isn't powerful. What is more powerful than taking your hand and putting your hand into the face of another grown man and throwing him out of the field of play on a consistent basis? Or he can juke you, or he can spin past you, or he can jump over you. This dude is a superhero. He looks like a Marvel character. There's nobody that I've ever seen besides Adrian Peterson, Sean Alexander, LaDainian Tomlinson that rivals the things that I see this dude do, and I believe wholeheartedly that this guy is the best running back in the league and is going to be a rival, if he can stay healthy, as best running back of all time. This is not blue glasses. This is not Giants bias. This is just the facts. If you watch this guy and you're not a Cowboys or Panthers fans, and listen, Cowboys, I don't hate Zeke. Panthers, I don't hate the Panthers at all. I don't hate anything on the Panthers. You gotta look at it, man. Look at the facts. Look at the guy play. Listen to what your eyes are telling you. You hear that? Listen to what your eyes are telling you. Because if you watch this guy play, it's not fair. He's playing a completely different game than everybody else is on the field. So obviously, I spent a lot of time on my number one spot, but this is to pretty much debunk this. Saquon is like a 90 overall in Madden. Who cares? When they lace him up and he goes out there, he's one of the fastest players in the league. He's one of the strongest players in the league. He's the most elusive player in the league, and the only person who can say anything to him about that is Lamar Jackson, who's probably about 30 pounds lighter than him. So give up your respect, pay your respects to Saquon Barkley, and know that he is going to be terrorizing this league as the premier runner for the next 10 years. And don't even get me started on the pass catching. Did I have to do that? He almost had 100 receptions in his rookie year. But I don't have to get into that. Let me know who's the best running back in the league. We all know who it is. But what does your twisted mind think that's not Saquon Barkley?